Hey everybody, this is TJR. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. The Rolling Stones are being hit with a lawsuit over their song entitled Living in a Ghost Town. This is the track they released during lockdown a few years back. A lot of people really liked the song. I thought it was pretty good. Superfan loved it. But now a songwriter, Sergio Garcia Fernandez, who goes by the stage name of Angleslang, is claiming that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards misappropriated many of the recognizable and key protected elements from his 2006 song, So Sorry, as well as his 2007 tune entitled Seed of God. Now, Fernandez claims he gave a demo CD to an immediate family member of Jagger's. The immediate family member confirmed receipt to the plaintiff via email and expressed that the musical works of the plaintiff and its style was a sound the Rolling Stones would be interested in using. This is from Fernandez's lawyers. They wrote this on Friday's complaint. Fernandez says the new song was created by borrowing key features from his songs, including the vocal melodies, the chord progressions, the drum beat patterns, the harmonica parts, the electric bass line parts, the tempos, and other key signatures from So Sorry and Seed of God. Now, familiar, of course, with the Stones song, I'd never heard these other two songs before. I was able to find the track So Sorry on YouTube and listen to it. I cannot find a copy of Seed of God. So I can only compare these two right now, which is what I am going to do. So one thing here that I should bring up is that he claims that a copy of his demo was delivered to an immediate relative of Mick Jagger. Now, this is important because part of a copyright song lawsuit is that you have to prove that the one you're accusing of copywriting your music had access to yours, had the ability to hear your track. And, I hadn't heard of this guy. I'm sure you hadn't either. The first thing they would have to ask is, well, how did Mick Jagger hear your song? So he's saying he has this proof here. We'll see what happens with that. That's one part of it. But the other part are the elements that he says are being stolen from him. Now he says, and other key signatures here, if he's referring to key signatures, you can't copyright that. He talks about other aspects here, such as chord progressions. Now, I've said it before, you can't copyright chord progression, so have other people. But copyright law is written so that there's always room for interpretation. I know this frustrates a lot of people because they want it to be kind of a set in stone thing. And the thing is, it's not. And a lot of people will say, well, then they should make it set in stone. And they'll feel that way until it's their case that they want to make about having a song stolen. And they think that it fits because of this exception, that there should be an exception to the rule. And I did a video about called You Can't Copyright a Chord Progression, or Can You was the name of it. And I'll give you a real simple example here. Here we go. You know that. That's of course Smoke on the Water. That is a chord progression. But if I played that chord progression and said I wrote that, you'd all say, no, you didn't. That's Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. By the way, I'm playing my little MIDI keyboard here. Sorry, it's off camera here. Just don't have room to set it up so you can actually see that. So yeah, sometimes there can be exceptions to rules all the time with copyright. Now he also talks about bass lines. And quite frankly, you really can't copyright a bass line any more than you can copyright a chord progression, or you shouldn't be able to. But just like the Smoke on the Water example I just showed you, there could be exceptions, Even if I stole that bass line, put different chords on it, put a different melody over it, there'd still be a lot of you, and rightfully so, that would look at me and say, come on, bro, you stole that from Queen and you know it. He also talks about drum patterns and tempos, and to me that's an even harder sell than chord progressions and bass lines. Now, traditionally speaking, when it comes to songs, copyright is supposed to be defined as lyrics and melody. The melody can be in the vocals, but the melody can also be instrumental. It's not supposed to be defined by chord progressions, bass lines, tempos, drum patterns, or any of that. But as we have seen, there can, of course, at times be exceptions. It's also not supposed to be defined by, say, a groove or a feel, which is one thing that I think these two tracks share in common. But again, that should not matter, although it did matter in the case of the Blurred Lines copyright lawsuit. Those two songs shared no lyrical or melodic similarities. They only shared a certain groove and vibe feel to them. And that shouldn't have mattered, but in the case of this lawsuit, it did, and it was a travesty of justice. And it had a chilling effect on professional songwriting and professional recorded music. So I listened to the one song that I could listen to, which is So Sorry. The other song, it's not available. It's not available on the internet. I couldn't find it anywhere, couldn't find it on streaming. And lyrically, these songs have nothing in common. So there's no lyrical grounds to stand on with this. Let's compare the melody lines now to the chorus of So Sorry. Here we go. We are so sorry. We are so sorry. And the whole world is sick with worry. So what we have is this. It's running through a C, D, and E note, just variations of that. And the notes sound different because the bass line chords played underneath those notes shift and make them sound more varied than they are, which is a common trick when you're, writing songs. So it's like this. Like that. So now let's listen to the melody of Living in a Ghost Town, the chorus of that song. Here we go. Completely different notes. The first one was just a C, D, and an E, variations on those three notes. This one is G, A, C, A, D, 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 C, E, A. And you may remember that I played the first chorus melody with some bass notes, the root notes of each chord. On the song I'm So Sorry, those notes were A, F, C, and E. But on this song, it's as follows. And it's A, D, A, E. So that's completely different too. And this seems to be what he's basing a lot of his argument on, is chord progressions versus the melody line, which doesn't match. But the chord progressions don't match either. So now, just for funsies, let's just look at the bass lines, because he talks about them. He mentions, bass lines. So let's check out the opening bass line on So Sorry. Okay, so I think this one goes like this. Kind of like that. I may not be 100% there. But that's a walk of E, G, C, A. That's on the guitar, and then the bass goes That's a walk up A, C, D, E, and then back down again. And then the second part of it is just like the first part, and then that's A, C, A, G, A. There's a little pause, then he goes with the D. Now let's listen to the Rolling Stones. And hopefully I won't get any copyright notices for doing this. If you don't hear the clips, that's why. Okay, so with this one here, it's also a little mixture of the guitar and the bass that creates this walking bass line here. So it's they both start on A and they both end on E, but the notes in between are completely different and they're phrased completely differently. These two songs also feature a bridge that have, again, completely different chord progressions and completely different melody lines. I could examine those too, but I don't see the point really. I think I've made my point. The only thing that these two songs really have in common is a similar feel, which you shouldn't be able to copyright. In fact, you could say that, gosh darn, I'm sorry, I can't even remember his name now. Angle Slang, thank you. You could say that Angle Slang is borrowing heavily from the Stones, you know, from the later Stones period. That's kind of what he's borrowing from. But then everybody borrows from everybody. The Stones borrow. Everybody borrows. Do I think he has any kind of a leg to stand on with this? No, I really don't. I haven't heard this other song. Maybe if I hear it, I might feel differently about this case. But at this point, no, I don't feel this case has any real merit. And I hope it gets thrown out of court quickly. We had a real scare a while back with that Katy Perry one, with that rapper who felt that he had stolen copyright, or she had stolen copyright from him, because of a simple descending piano line, you know, an A minor scale piano descending line that he used that, you know, any household pet could write. He actually won that at first, but then it got overturned. I did a video about that one as well. Anyways, though, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Please share your thoughts here in the comments. As always, if you like these videos, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. If you'd like to show some additional thanks, we have a super thanks button if you just want to make a one-time donation. If you'd like to show some extra support and get access to exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel, please become a patron supporter. Go to patreon.com/TJR the original. Make a monthly pledge. But if you can't do that, I still understand, you know. Just click like and share these videos with anyone you think might be interested. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all stay safe and healthy. And hopefully next time you'll get to see my little keyboard. There we go. Bye, everybody.